Oh, Terry Fisher here, sitting on a sand dune overlooking the Pacific Ocean. I'll show you real quick that it's there. Yes, that's the Pacific Ocean, one of my favorite things. I'm visiting my mother this week, and her house is only about 5 miles or so from the ocean, so I decided to record out here. The Pope texted a nice little message this week, the gist of which is to don't forget to read the Bible, because it is God's love letter to us. And I hope that you regularly read the Bible yourself, because in just those few words, the Pope really captured a part of what the Bible means for us. Today, I want to focus your attention to the second letter of Peter, his second epistle. It's been called a general epistle because it's not addressed to a specific church or to a specific individual. And in the first chapter, he describes some of what the experience is like for people who become Christians. And in the chapter, starting at about verse 5, and I hope you'll open your New Testament and read that, he gives a whole list of characteristics or attributes that we are to add. And it lists things like faith. It ends with love. It starts with faith, it ends with love. But it includes things like mutual affection for one another. And these are things that he urges us to have in what he calls increasing measure. And by using that little phrase, increasing measure, he's pointing us to the fact that becoming a Christian is not a one-time, then you got your badge and you never think about it again experience. Being a Christian is something that is an ongoing experience in our lives. Heard from a friend this week who is a nurse, and she is doing something completely different. Now, when she first decided to become a nurse, that for me, I believe, is a noble calling. To be a nurse, to devote your life to helping other people get better, or to comforting those who are not going to get better and are actually going to die. I've been pleased to know quite a few nurses in my life, quite a few friends who have gone into that field. In fact, my niece every morning suits up in several layers of protection to go to her job, where she is an emergency room nurse taking care of people who are infected with COVID-19. A very honorable career. Well, this friend announced that she's leaving to fly to Ethiopia to train nurses and midwives. And I looked at her message and I thought, oh my goodness, in the midst of COVID-19, she's leaving behind her life, at least for a short period of time, to go to another part of the world, to not be a nurse, but to train nurses, to train midwives. And for me, what that shows is a development in her career. She started out as a nurse, helping people to heal. And now she's training others who want to be nurses, who want to be midwives. The Christian life is somewhat like her example. We start out as one thing, and we have no idea where it's going to take us. It could take us in a lot of different places. But Peter's encouragement is to add those things to your life in increasing measure. Don't think about your life as something that's finished, but think about your life as something that is ongoing and continuing. Think about your Christian life as something that is ongoing and continuing. Add these things in increasing measure. And so, yes, you have faith. Well, according to Peter, hopefully your faith will be deeper tomorrow than it is today. Yes, you have love. And according to Peter, hopefully your love will be deeper tomorrow than it is today. add all of these things in increasing measure. And for those who don't do it, he calls them nearsighted. Now, I understand about nearsighted. I've been wearing glasses since I was in the 3rd grade. In fact, in 2nd grade is when I first noticed that my eyesight was changing. I couldn't read the chalkboard in the classroom. I came home and I told my parents, I can't see. And they said, well, you passed your eye test this year. You see, when I was in grade school, we received an eye test every year from a school nurse. And yes, I had passed my eye test that year, but something happened after the eye test and I could no longer see. But they said, well, you passed your eye test, you're just fine. The next year, 3rd grade, we had the same annual eye test, and I could not read anything in the eye test. And the nurse sent a note home saying, you've got to take him to an optometrist. And of course, then my parents apologized to me and they said, well, we're sorry we didn't believe you last year. Went to an optometrist, had my eyes examined, and the optometrist's words were, Terry is very, very nearsighted. Now that was in 3rd grade. And he said from now until he graduates from high school, he will probably need a new pair of glasses every year because his eyes will probably get worse. That man was a prophet because absolutely my eyes got worse every year. And here I am today, a little bit older than then, still wearing glasses. If I take my glasses off, I cannot see anything except a lot of blurry shapes, a lot of blurry colors. Well, I know what nearsighted means, and as a Christian, I don't want to be nearsighted when it comes to my characteristics, my spiritual life. I want to have a clear vision of the spiritual life, and I hope you do too. And so I hope you will take Peter's words to heart, that you will do your part to add those things in increasing measure as you go through your life. That you will not be a nearsighted Christian, but you'll be a Christian with 20/20 vision all throughout your life. Who are the beloved? Go and be the beloved.